How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Nerdy Basement Podcast, your home for everything comics, TV, film, anime, gaming, and pop culture. I'm your host, Eddie, and joining me today is your co-host.
It's your boy Boozer. I'm back.
He is. Today we're doing a little different today. You got us. Ozzy's taking a well-needed rest, but, he's here in spirit and waiting to see what we talk about tonight, guys. How you been? As a matter of fact, it's been a long time, by the way. It's
been a
past
minute.
the new year. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then we haven't done an episode together. Yeah, definitely also a minute.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be a fun one. In preparation for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, we decided to do something I think a lot of people are doing as well. We're doing a whole rewatch, and I think you could call it nostalgia in the making because, we're starting all the way to the very beginning with our boy Iron Man, and we did a whole rewatch of the trilogy. Let's get the initial thoughts, Boozer. How did it even feel to even dust off the streaming service? And because I swear I haven't scrolled that far back in a very long time.
This is fresh in my head. I watched the first two last night and then number 3 this morning. So this is fresh. I binged it. This is fresh in my head.
Oh, beautiful. So far it's been 2 weeks, but it's still very fresh because I remember when these movies came out, it was like everything was still rolling in my head for a month at a time. And I have to say, yeah, this is straight up nostalgia. But you know what? Before that, guys, look, grab your headphones, grab a snack, join us on this venture in a galaxy far, far away. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, get the ring for all the notifications, please, because we're going to dive right into Iron Man, the trilogy, numbers 1, 2, and 3. And we're starting with number 1, of course. This is straight up nostalgia. Like I said, I think it's wild. It's incredible to know that the culmination of everything of the MCU started from this movie.
Oh yeah. I already knew this is my number 1 movie, by the way. In all of MCU, this is my number 1.
You sure? I can't really tell from the background.
There's a little bias here, but
in all honesty, I'm about to make you wear that helmet for the whole the episode. By the way,
get a little hot.
I digress.
I can pull up the
AC.
mask though. I can pull up the mask though.
All right, fair enough. He didn't get the upgrades from Tony Stark. That's the problem. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, you were saying this is one of your favorite characters.
Yeah.
So I guess take us back. Now
I remember going to see Iron Man 1 in theaters opening night with my sister and her at the time boyfriend. And I just remember leaving that because I remember being hyped for it because I'm a comic book nerd. And I'm like, and I love space, sci-fi, robots, and I'm like, Iron Man, a man in an iron suit, come on, in a technological suit, flying around, shooting repulsor beams, this was my jam. And I was so excited to go see that movie, and it did not disappoint. That end credits, end credit roll at the end of that was just
I
satisfying.
think it almost started the genre.
Yeah.
It started the I don't think anybody ever expected anything at the end of credits.
And the end, almost it felt like the dawn of the end credit scene.
Yes,
because
really
with the hype of Thor coming, man.
Well, mind you, we're jumping, right? Because part 1 didn't even have that yet. This was just a fun ragtag moment of Tony Stark's origins of, first being the weapons expert. Oh no, I know you're excited and I love it. Keep that enthusiasm.
My brain is over there. We just watched 6 hours worth of Iron Man.
Yeah. I did it over a weekend, so I had a little bit of a buffer, but it was just, even I'm like, holy crap. I was like, it still had a good runtime.
Yeah.
It wasn't long, and with Jon Favreau taking the helm with this, again, it's like you said, being a nerd all the way through my life and everything, always enjoying stuff. The only movies I ever saw with superheroes were Batman, Superman, and the other few TV shows that they had at the time. But MCU never really had that love except for the animated stuff. We had the original Iron Man adventures from the cartoons. Him switching through crazy ass like suit changes and shit like that. It was wild, like really dope stuff. But they had everything in that show. I think that doesn't get enough play, right? But you got I'm telling you, it hits every note still to this day.
Yeah.
I don't think I disappoint it whatsoever.
One thing I realized, especially with Iron Man 1 and a bit of 2, is like I felt like the pacing was really good. I felt like, and I also noticed one thing about all three of the movies is they like starting back in time.
Yeah.
I noticed that was kind of a theme of the entire trilogy. Was kind of like start at a point, be like, well, let's see how it all started, and then kind of like rewind back up to present day. I noticed that was pretty interesting. But the pacing, especially for the first one, just felt so good.
And then it also felt like it could have went longer. You know what I mean? Like it's so many little things here and there, but like it hit every note. Robert Downey Jr. was Tony Stark from the freaking first scene. For sure. You know what I mean? Like, like the moment that he's in the Humvee with these guys and all this stuff. And again, it still hits every note with no issues. It was like, this movie is standing the test of time, because when I thought I was going to look back and I was going to be like, oh, okay, it's going to be nice to see it again. But I'm like, thoroughly enjoyed it again. Like after probably the 10th time ever watching it in a row. Like this is the first time I'm seeing it in over 10 years, probably. Like wild, right? Yeah. So, we have Obadiah Stane, our premier, antagonist of the movie, which, and when you look into it at this time, he was great. You know what I mean? Low level villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to what we eventually get to. And I think keeping the story contained the way that we had, because I don't think anybody really expected this to blow up like that. Yeah. So it's wild.
It was also nice to go back and see not like a world ending event having to be stopped,
yes,
it was just like a guy that was a danger, but like it wasn't like, ooh, the fate of the world is upon us. It was nice to kind of go back to the little bit lower stakes.
Oh yeah, and even like before I guess the costume changes for even other characters like James Rhodes, that was interesting to see, like a different portrayal of of Rhodes and everything, because I'm like, before Don Cheadle comes in part 2, it's like, I'm like, I wonder if this could have been something, right? Like, it's interesting to see how, all that kind of stuff, like, how this guy, like, took this character and, like, played it this way. I think is still funny. I think he did a good job. But then now I'm looking at it, I'm like, James Rhodes is Don Cheadle. Simple as that. I'm like, I'm sold with that. It's all good. But, it's all these other little things, the introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D., the 10 rings, which by the time we get to number 3, you'll hear my thoughts on that.
I have some pluses and negatives about it.
Yeah, I have a lot of negatives about it, but I will say this too. As I started rewatching everything, a lot of things felt way better than what I can say my original thoughts were back in the day. I can say that. So I feel like going back to it now, I have a better appreciation for it, and I can understand what they were doing. Yeah. And I guess comparing it to other stuff, that's what kind of, let's say like number 2 came out around the time. Oh no, it still came out right before Captain America, I think.
I think it did. Yeah, I think it came out right before.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was teasing.
It was around that,
Captain America.
Because Iron Man 1 and 2 came out pretty quick from each other.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, and then I think Thor was the second one that they put in.
Yeah, because Thor was the teaser after Iron Man 2. So I think Cap had just come out. No, I think Cap had just come out.
Or coming out? Yeah. Oh wait. Now I gotta. Fuck. Okay, we got a guy in the chair. Machines. Where are you? I know. Oh my god. Wait a second. When did? Let's see. Release dates.
So that was May MCU. Around my birthday, 2010, for Iron Man 2.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. From 2000. All right. So phase 1. Let's say with phase 1, right? So.
Captain America was 2011. So yeah, that.
Wow.
Which is and then wait, actually Thor 1. release.
Wait a tick. Hold on. Okay, Incredible Hulk came out right
Thor
after
came out before.
Iron Man.
Actually, Iron Man 1 and 2 and Thor came out before Captain America.
Wow.
Yeah, so they came out
okay.
so I just Captain America was July and Thor was
Yes. Wow. Okay. And then we see that technically, like with the Hulk comes out, Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton, that was thrown in there because we do also like side chat guys. Incredible Hulk had the Robert Downey Jr. come in as a cameo as after credit scene.
Yeah.
Because Ed Norton was originally supposed to be in the MCU. Shit didn't work out. Just like I said, face changes.
Universal.
Like James Rhodes. Universal. And, we got somebody else with Ed Ruffalo. But, okay, so yeah, that's the interesting part, right? So they banged, they put all the bang in the buck. Iron Man already had a sequel before everything else started up. So let's say, Iron Man 1 pretty much started off with teasing S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. became a thing very at the end. That's when we get to meet Nick Fury. Talk about the Avengers initiative. So we all got I don't think anybody really understood what we were expecting because it's like wait,
what that meant.
So yeah, like is this still going to be Iron Man and the Avengers or so on and so forth? But like, as a matter of fact, I do want to like circle back a little bit. How good were those suit up scenes compared to like what I feel like, thinking about the nanites by the time we get to Endgame and stuff, I think nothing does better than those freaking suit up scenes.
I agree. I feel like on one hand, the character kind of has to evolve, right? It can't keep using the same thing and never evolve. He's a brilliant scientist. The idea of him using the same tech over and over again would be very silly. But I do agree the nanotech just doesn't hit like like the old suit up days. Now again, like those were very like there was a point where like he had to have machines take the suits off of him, like in the beginning. You know what I mean? So like it's not very convenient, especially when you got to suit up for battle quick. And eventually he learned, we had the suitcase, we had the car, and in one of the in Civil War, I believe.
Oh, part 2. What are the suitcase? Wait, did they do the suitcase in the car too?
The where he's like in the car and he puts his finger, and then or was that a plane? It's either a car or a plane where he puts his finger on the console. That wasn't an Iron Man movie. I forget which movie it was. Either,
I think I know what you were talking about.
Or one of the Avengers.
Oh, it's the one that he gets the little gauntlet.
He puts his finger in the center console and he like goes back in the chair. He's like in a car. I forget which one it is. That's
Civil War. Civil War. Yeah. He's in the helicopter going back home, and then he ends up.
But like that's a really cool suit up and whatnot. But again, like the nanite is like the. And even in the comics, that's the inevitable future for him. But it does not hit. So like at the end of the day, it's an understandable evolution, but it just doesn't hit.
Right, and it's like seeing the like everything,
and the sound design, between that and Transformers, the sound design is fantastic.
Exactly, and I think Favreau just hit every moment with this movie. I think again, it was his back was against the wall. If this didn't work, this wouldn't have worked even for Feige. You know what I mean? Like none of this would have been a thing if it wasn't for Favreau taking these steps and also just giving us just straight up dope freaking CGI for the beginning, which again at that point when we saw those teaser trailers we were like, holy shit, this is Iron Man, this is so
I remember
dope.
seeing the first poster. The first poster alone was fire. Like and
everything.
One thing I want to bring back, because you were talking about the introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I know like Marvel's never going to be known for like incredible writing. Like no one's ever going to usually like praise Marvel for fantastic writing, which I do think many of their movies does have good writing. But like just like in terms of like wit in this movie and the way they utilized the running joke of S.H.I.E.L.D. of them constantly spelling, like saying out the whole word, the whole strategic homeland, and then at the end hitting with that, you could just call it S.H.I.E.L.D. Like fire. It's like fire, bro.
It's just like in your heart, you're just like, that's what we needed. Oh my! And then of course, Agent Coulson, the stand-in, like all the way through. I'm glad he at least got a little bit more play in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show,
which did have quite a few really good seasons.
Yeah, I heard. And
I've watched the whole series, and it's like,
oh, you did?
Yeah, I've watched the entire series. Okay. Well, usually if I go like a season or two in, I gotta finish it. I can't just like abandon something unless it's like really garbage. But like I would say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had like I would say for me, like 50-50. 50% of the seasons were like meh. None of them were like unwatchable, but like meh. And then like 50% of the seasons were actually extremely entertaining. Like the one with Ghost Rider, and especially towards the end, there was some really good plot lines with Hydra and stuff like that. And even the beginning, when there was some tie-ins with the actual movies, that was also some really interesting stuff. And then they eventually had to like diverge because basically the movie studios just couldn't communicate with the TV studios.
Yeah. See, that's where I think the one thing I remember hearing, or at least like I thought myself, I was like, that's where they should have introduced the Skrulls. You know as far back in the show, everything, because then it could have been a little bit like stronger, reveal in the future, like movies and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, like that's one of the few spinoffs that was pretty fun to see that he at least got it. But like Agent Coulson in general, like I think like just the comedic little timings, the
and his
sarcasm,
like straight arrow, he just nailed that. And he loosened up a little bit in the show over time.
Oh yeah, but I heard because he's a clone apparently. So
no, but even
spoilers.
It's been out forever. But even before that, and again, technically he still has all his memories. But even before that, he loosened up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I think because I was stuck with like I had so much from the Arrowverse.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't find the time to watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And also there was only like a couple episodes that I watched that I was like, I'm not really feeling this right now.
There's some really good show.
But see, they were doing like 20 episodes a season, right?
Yeah.
Like
and then I think towards the end they started whittling that down a little bit. If my memory serves me.
See, and then I think almost every good every show that started off strong realized toward the end they were like, we can't have this quantity anymore.
It's just too much.
And that's why it's too much, and also then they dilute the show. You know what I mean? That's why now everybody's doing longer episodes. Now
I feel like they're doing a little too short. I feel like no one found that happy medium. Like, I think we need a little bit more than 8 episodes. Like, can we get like 13? Like,
I think they
can't we just get the anime run 12 or 13 episodes?
Exactly, it's something. You know what I mean?
Them like 40,
give us enough
50 minutes.
Something like give us the funny, give us those 2 filler episodes, and then give us the rest, like everything canon, please. But we digress, right? But it is true, a very good formula, right? But like you get the like part 1 gives you everything that you like, all the nice little bells and whistles that they culminated all the way through the like until the end game series and all that. Pepper Potts, James Rhodes, like we said, everything into Captain America and the Shield, Avengers. So I think we're ready to, obviously, if no one understood what we were going with this, I'm ready to rate this one, and I think it still holds for me. It's a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me.
Oh, I'm going 5 out of 5. Like I said, this is my favorite movie.
There it is.
This is my favorite.
And again,
movie.
And I can agree.
It still hit every.
You know why I give the 4.5 out of 5?
Why?
I am Iron Man. That's why. I still don't stand behind that whole thing that he gave up the chance of secret identity, having some of those fun little plot lines, at least for one more movie.
I hear you, but from that his personality, that whole movie, literally, I think it's in the second one where he's like textbook narcissism, like come on. Like totally. My man loves. For me again, it just made sense with the character. You know what I
mean? I think in the sense of like, well, one, I've heard I heard the rumors back in the day that Robert Downey Jr. actually, improv that line.
Oh, okay.
Because it was actually supposed to be going the route of the secret identity.
Gotcha.
But he went and did the narcissism play.
I like that better. Personally,
I understand. There's a lot of easy storylines you can make when everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
But then there's all the greater type of storylines that we learned that you do have as well when you have a secret identity. Yeah. But again, that's just me. I just
think we get so many with secret identities. It was nice to have 1 or 2 without. You know what I mean?
And I think maybe that's the reason why Favreau thought it was a good idea to go that route. And again, it made it very easy for them to make so many more storylines further on, because they already knew Tony Stark, who he was, what he does, and he could just move through all these movies with ease, and it worked out. And again, like I said, this is personal preference, preference. But that's my 4.5 out of stars.
I just have 2 quick thoughts before we move on to the next one.
Of course.
I'm having trouble finding his name. But
which one?
the guy in the cave with him, was it Yasim?
Oh my God, Yesed. Um, oh my God, you made me just brain fart, bro. It's shit. Hold on. Iron Man.
Why is he not?
Yin. I think it's Yin said.
Okay. I don't know why he's not popping up on the IMDb. But he was fantastic. I feel like he's super underrated in like the origin of Tony Stark.
Well, that's why they gave him back another. They gave him another like line in the second one. Part 3.
Part 3, yes.
No, part 3. Part 3.
But yeah, no, he was great, and I love the line because it'll end up coming forward in Endgame. But just the line where he was asking if he had kids, and he said, family and kids, and he said, "You have everything and nothing at all." And I just was thinking about where his character ended up at the end of the day in Endgame. I just thought that was, because he eventually did gain it all. He did get that family.
That's true.
But
the sad.
But yeah, no, that line really hit me in retrospect. That line really hit me. I wrote that down. I was like, oh, that was a pretty wild line. And again, like, I know they didn't forward think that in the future. I really like that.
I think, credit to the writers, obviously, to be able to pick out certain moments like that and, give us a full circle moment, that credit to the writers. There's a reason why the Infinity Saga is still coveted right now. Yeah. That's the reason why we're literally getting Avengers Doomsday to clean up everything else that didn't work out and give everybody a fresh start. Right. Not to say that I didn't enjoy a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. Same here.
But not everything hit.
Yeah.
But,
and
and
the last thing I had was just the running jokes about the franchise of him just constantly throwing shade at those little arm bots, those little arm robots.
Oh my god, I have it literally inside my personal notes. I was like, missed that robotic arm. Yep. Great comic.
That was some of the best humor and I would say in the MCU is because it's just it's Tony Stark, so like. He's one of the best wits in the franchise. But no, the banter between him and like when he's like getting extinguished, he's like, don't if I'm not on fire, do not.
Yeah,
that was great.
Dude, I'm telling you, everything, all the suit up, all the test scenes, everything hit so freaking well, and I think. So building on that, I think that's the reason why part 2 didn't hit for me as hard.
Okay.
In the first watches, my first watch when we were younger, right? Because I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this because especially with like, you introduced Whiplash, right? And from the comics and everything like that, he is one of the premier villains for Tony Stark and Iron Man. And, he was part of the big stuff during, the Iron Wars, like saga and everything like that for them. He was one of the people that stole a lot of the Tony Stark tech, and I think they did him well. It was cool. It was a cool concept. I think, of course, toward the final act, they kind of, ruined him a little bit. Like I thought, like keeping him half like machinery instead of full suit, and jumping ahead, that how he actually got defeated, by the power of friendship, that kind of like killed me a little bit. I felt like that was a little lackluster, but what do you go ahead? Like I know what is this? Is this your second favorite?
No. So Iron Man 2 is not my second favorite, but I appreciated it more my rewatch. I feel like I did appreciate it more. I feel like the pacing was also still pretty strong in this one throughout the series, throughout the movie. And a couple of notes that I think I had. One thing that this movie, and then also it's like also backing on the other movie, there was also a lot of like oftentimes like news happening, like it's splitting to like news coverage, and Tony Stark felt so lived in that world. Like you would see like people that in real life, like reporters and everything like that, and TV show hosts. I remember like when their stock was going down, they had the one guy with the like weird noises, and it's annoying with the stock.
Yeah.
So like it felt very lived in. Yeah, they had a lot of cameos, but it felt very lived in. Like even the hearing, like that hearing scene, and that's why like I'm happy he didn't have a secret identity, because like the hearing scene,
true,
where he's just like, nope. boom, boom, and making fun of Hammer, which we'll get into how great Hammer was.
Yeah.
But I love that. I think it was I don't know if it was like a senator or whatnot.
Yeah.
I forget. Are we allowed to curse and stuff on this?
Yeah, you can understand.
I just love when he like basically showed them all off and was like, "You guys are, you can't have my suit." And that one guy literally was like, he was like, "Fuck you, Mr. Stark. Fuck you, buddy." He couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold himself back.
Yeah, exactly. Like, one, that was the introduction of the new James Rhodes, and at the same time, kind of like set the, of course, he had to, bite his tongue after that because everything he said during that meeting came back to bite him in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, no one's up to this date, and now a dude with spare parts and essentially in a cave or in at least a back room was able to duplicate his technology, right? So I think that was cool. And I just feel like, little things like having Justin Hammer there, Hammer Tech, still funny. A little bit wasted opportunity for him in this movie and also future movies because of how they played with that.
Hammer was great. I would love to see him make a cameo on everything relating to Iron Man, because his personality is just so funny.
A matter of fact, wait, didn't we see him in Ironheart a little bit?
I actually have not seen Ironheart yet. That's one of the because
it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I have to get through and watch that. I think it's the only thing I'm missing right now. And then
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I haven't seen yet at the moment. I think when it came out, I had a lot of things going on, and I was like, damn it.
I didn't start watching it until probably the finale already happened, and then I just kind of did a binge. You know what I mean? I don't think did we cover it weekly? I can't remember. Huh. Yeah, that's been a while. So besides that, right? So like Hammer, I feel like you're right. He did do a couple cameos in future movies.
I think I saw him once. I forget. I'm just forgetting, but I feel like
there was. I don't remember where exactly, but I remember he did do a couple cameos in the future. And I want to say even maybe in one of the Spider-Mans after that too. I feel like I saw him there. But besides that, right? So Hammer was great. Yeah, he was awesome in this movie, part 2. Whiplash, again, I feel like besides the third act wasn't my favorite, but obviously the introduction of Whiplash and of course one of my favorite suit ups with the suitcase back in the day. Like, this is like straight from the comics. He used to carry around his suitcase to suit up because, remember, secret identity.
I actually have I have a Hot Toys of that armor. That is nice. One of my favorite armors in general, and one of my favorite suit up scenes. It's just so badass.
It is one of the best. Like, I'm just like, oh my god. I was like, this came out at the perfect time. I was just like, it was like he's like, it was just like, it felt like plausible situation, right?
Yeah, because again, at that time,
he
had to suit up. He had to have a machine put it on him. So like seeing and like if you think about like, oh, he can only carry, like, that was a more minimal suit. I don't even think that one would be able to fly. So like just like seeing how it had to be compacted into that suitcase and whatnot. Literally one of the first fire suit ups ever.
It really was. Like, I think a lot of it. And then introduction to Black Widow. That was huge. You know what I mean? One of the first Avengers introduced already into the movie. She was great. You know what I mean? I think I forgot how good she was in her first introduction. The long hair, I don't know. I wasn't too. I think I liked her better with the short hair.
For an assassin, it's not like the most ideal to have like super long hair and like fluffed out. She still killed it. Like the way she like her banter and wit and like the way she just sassed Tony Stark, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they created the new arc reactor that wasn't killing him anymore. They showed us the tease of the Captain America shield.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this movie was legit just set up for future movies. And then I think that's also probably why I thought it fell a bit more in terms of story, you know. But like I think we've been saying before, this second watch, well, I'm not saying second, this most recent watch, because I watched it multiple times too. definitely felt better.
Same here.
I felt more. There was a lot more to appreciate. A lot of little callbacks, like like the theory with that little kid that he saves during the expo. He might be he was supposed to be Peter Parker. Which I think they said actually they confirmed. They were like, yeah, that's Peter Parker as a kid. Because I want to say someone.
I don't remember that being confirmed. I think that was a huge fan theory. I don't remember that ever being confirmed.
I think it was a
I feel like everyone wanted that.
Yeah, because I want to say technically what they did in Spider-Man 2, they showed that picture of him in there.
Now I'm gonna have to double check.
So we might fact check.
We might have to
I'm
fact
sorry. Please put it in the notes, the comments, all right? But and now, okay, and then like I said, like the overall movie was good. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I think until everything up till the fight with Whiplash at in the finale fight, I thought was solid. I even just fighting the droids, that nice little montage, like not the fight scene with with the team up of War Machine and Tony Stark. I thought that was solid. I love that fight scene, so cool. But then Whiplash was just
I think the tough thing is I feel like it had less substance than the first one, but it did have a lot of like really great moments, like both like action and like we had obviously the suitcase fight in the beginning. I think that was like fire. Sure. And then, we have one standout fight was actually the brawl, the birthday brawl. That was a really good fight.
It was cool.
Two Iron Man fight, and it was like more playful. I also love that he was like, what did he say? I think I wrote it down.
Which one? What, Rhodey? What he said, or?
He was like, "Give me a fat beat to beat my friend up with."
Oh yeah, his drunk Tony started like at least they recognize that like, hey, he has a problem right now.
Yeah. I feel like they wanted to do Demon in a Bottle, and that's why they kind of did the core thing, but they couldn't. I feel like that would have been a little too dark at the early stages.
Yes, exactly. I think too dark for early stage.
Yeah, they were still like very. We got to keep this family friendly as much as we can.
Yeah. Exactly, and then again, it was just to help him cope with the fact that he's dying.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why he was drinking so much. It wasn't because he had a problem. It was because he was dying. So he was just doing that. So I think they just downplayed it a little bit for that, for the movie and such.
And then the other moment that really stood out was like it was both good and bad. Like the fight when him and War Machine are at the box, the kill box, and they're just taking out all the other drones. Fantastic.
Yes, I love that.
That
was one of my favorite things.
And then the fight between Whiplash, I feel like was way too quick. It felt like a blink of an eye. Yeah, it just felt like a blink of an eye. That fight was done. That's what it took. He just didn't feel like a threat in that moment.
No, not at all.
In the first introduction, he felt like a threat. Literally, Happy and Pepper, they shouldn't be alive. The way they lucked out and missing out on those slices. That car was sliced in like 3.
I want to say because I was watching
that was Deus Ex Machina right there.
Yeah,
I watched it back and there's no way they survived that.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I had the same reaction with my girlfriend. I was just saying, I told her, I was like, yeah, they should be dead right now, diced, because I'm like, this is hilarious, reversing to come back in, and then this. I'm like really, and also I'm like, that little exoskeleton should not have saved Whiplash either.
No,
that should have actually killed him.
He didn't nothing covered his front. His
nothing.
Organ should have been done being hit by like a Rolls Royce or whatever that was. So that's again,
just a big ass, just getting hit by a car in general. He should have died.
The way they sliced Tony Stark's car, I feel like his leg would have got cut off. Mm-hmm. I googled a picture of Formula One cars. And where your feet go, and I was like, bro, my man lost his legs, or at least most like his foot and half his other leg.
Yeah,
I just watched movie F1 magic right there.
Yeah, I watched F1 the other day on Apple TV, and I could tell you, even they showed people dying from less.
Yeah, no,
it's like that should have never survived.
Where he sliced that car, legs are gone.
Oh yeah, it's so again,
movie.
That was all movie magic right there. Yeah, which. And it's okay. We'll take it. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Not a big deal. Now, like I said, getting killed by the power of friendship, that kind of pisses me off. I was just like, there could have been a better way of doing this. It is what it is.
I feel like that would have. I didn't even hate that. I just hated how fast it came to that conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like if there was more that happened, and then at the last resort, like they remember that blast, like it made sense because like it was a big explosion. I just feel like
it was essentially an EMP, right? That's pretty much what it was.
No, I mean, it was an actual explosion. It was two things of energy. Boiling up. I mean, I don't know, boiling, but like they were converging on each other to a point of it was an explosion.
Exactly. Yeah, explosion. It's simple as that. But only he was the one hurt. You know what I mean?
It was at the center.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And
but I don't know. It happened way too fast for me to accept. Like it was just over in a blink.
But remember, they used to hold to the run times that they had at the time. During those days. Like at that time, no one really heard about anything past a 2-hour movie.
Those movies are like 2 hours and like 6 minutes, which is like credits.
Which also was great. Don't get me wrong, my bladder is so weak nowadays. I still had to stop to pee, but that's also because I'm spoiled and I was watching it at home. So I was like, pause.
Avengers Infinity War, I didn't eat for like 6 hours before the movie or drink because I was like, I'm gonna have to use the bathroom for that 3-hour movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I paced myself so much because I was like, I still had to drink and all that kind of fun stuff. But in my defense, I did actually leave at one of probably the most slowest moments of Infinity War because this is what happens when you go drinking the before the movie. So
absolutely,
that's my fault. Right?
I know my bladder well, and I was like, I think let's see, I stopped eating or drinking at like 3 p.m. and the movie was
dedication.
I think the movie was at like 9, so it really didn't start until like 9:30ish.
Oh yeah.
And I think the movie ended at like just past midnight. So I had not eaten since like 3, and my wife had a bucket of popcorn that was still largely full, and I just like everyone's like crying, and I'm just like, this movie was great, and I'm just chowing down pop. I'm just like shoving popcorn down my mouth.
You're like, I don't need to get up yet. I'm okay. It's the things we did back in the day, guys. We'll probably technically still do for the most part. I had a hard time in Avatar, but those were so wild. Oh, so freaking wild. But I think probably one of the biggest takeaways for it too. End credit scene, we see Mjolnir, and this was the pretty much the door opening for Thor to come in. I think everybody was hyped because I want to say we heard the rumors of Thor, but then it was pretty much solidified the moment we saw that end credit scene.
Yeah.
I think that's when everybody was like, this is real. We're getting fucking Thor, this is what it was. And I think that's really what it was. This was just connected tissue. Iron Man 2 was literally just kind of like, hey, this kind of stuff happened. Tony's not dying.
Yeah.
He has a new power up. But guess what? He's going to be the connective tissue for Thor and Captain America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the reason why they kind of had to dumb this one down. But like I said, this watch around, better than I remembered.
Yeah, no, I feel like I
way
enjoyed
better.
It more the second watching this again in retrospect.
Yes.
One last little nitpick real quick.
Go for it.
When he I do love again him sciencing the shit out of things in both 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Like he really scienced the shit out of stuff, and I really enjoyed him showing his intellect and his ingenuity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But one thing that just has me dying every time I see it is that big diorama thing that Howard Stark made, how he somehow split that into 4 pieces and put that into the front seat of an Audi R8. That's not fitting. That's not physics is not physicsing right there.
You're literally verbatim saying exactly what I told my girlfriend. I'm like, that would have flew out.
It just wouldn't even fit. It just wouldn't even fit, let alone fly out. Also, all those little pieces, unless it was all made out of metal, would have broken. All those little buildings and stuff like that.
Something.
None of that.
Or he should have got pulled over by a cop. I don't know. Maybe he had a short ride.
I'm stuck on the physics that they thought that would fit in the front seat of an Audi R8, of a sports car.
I think they would have. I think I would have felt better
funny.
if they
like
at least
it was a
tied
funny
a rope.
Bit like him driving with that, but I'm like, I don't know how physics ain't physicsing on that one.
No, it doesn't make sense. It should have never done it. Maybe at least tied a rope on it, make us feel like it made more sense.
Like, at least I don't know, if he had like
silly shit.
I don't know, he's carrying it on the like a trailer or something like that. It doesn't even have a trailer hitch, but he can put a trailer hitch on that. I believe in Tony Stark.
Exactly. Or he could at least or he could have just borrowed one of their freaking trucks from that place. Like he owns the place, or had somebody follow him. Like,
that
hey,
was just,
have this person
I saw
follow
that
me,
and
please.
I'm like, that's just
Something.
so unbelievably not
Ridiculous. Also, how good does it feel to be a homeowner? Because the amount of freaking destruction he put into his home, creating that new arc, I'm like, ooh, all that cement. I'm like, you know
my
how
man
hard
does
it is
not
to
care
redo
about
that
just
shit.
destroying his own house.
Nothing. Hilarious stuff, but it was funny. Yeah, exactly, right? Like between the bar fight with War Machine prior, and then destroying his house to create a brand new element.
Or even the first one when he just tried to land on his roof and just fell right through.
Oh my god, that was so good. I love those. Oh my god, like I said, everything.
The worst car he could have done it. Yeah, the worst car he could have done it. Oh my god,
yes, of course. But then everything was good there. Like I said, part 1 still holds up even better. Can't go wrong. Part 2, I'm going to give it generously a 4 out of 5. I really want to go 3.5, but I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5 because, like I said, it made me feel better this watch around than it did last time. Like my first watch, I should say. How about yourself?
I feel weird giving points like 0.5, so I'm just giving it a solid 4. My rating system's 1 through 5, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
I have to give the halves, man. You know why? Because it just shows
if halves existed, I'd give it a 4.5.
I wanted more.
All right, so it's got a 4.5 for halves. For people that do halves, for people that don't do halves, it's got a 4 for me.
Fair enough. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the trilogy. All right. In my opinion, could have been the best Marvel movie ever. Could have straight up fucking
scared to introduce magic. They were.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm gonna be hot take.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have ended bad if they did magic. Specifically, before you say. If they had done the 10 rings back then, I think they would have done the elemental rings, and it would have looked the way they would have done it. I'm not saying that it can't be done well, but I think they would have done it silly. It would have looked silly. They would have done the elemental rings, and I think they would have. I don't think they would have had the right vision, and I think it would have been really weird and goofy compared to the 10 rings that we got in the future, and then Doctor Strange introducing magic in the future. I feel like it ended up actually working out better. I do. As much as I wanted to see I wanted that Mandarin in the beginning to be the real Mandarin.
Yes.
But I just, knowing the era that at that time, if they had introduced magic, I feel like it would have been goofy.
Yeah. I can agree with the fact that like they just didn't give enough setup. Because Tony Stark was more grounded. There's rhyme and reason and so on. So fair.
It was like grounded in science and technology.
Yeah.
There was no mysticism at all. And we got Thor.
But if you remember.
But even Thor was like technology.
Like magic. It's just like a higher existence. And that's what the Mandarin rings are in the comics. They're more science than they are mysticism.
Correct.
But they're still one and the same. And they could have, like, don't get me wrong. Then when they brought back in the 10 rings, when we first saw that like teased in there, like you're like, what?
Calling him the Mandarin. Got to admit, that trailer was a banger.
One of the best.
One of the best Marvel trailers.
One of the best. And it's like, but then here's what we were saying, right? They stripped away what the magic and the science of the 10 rings, and they brought it down to something that we could relate and made it more grounded.
Yeah. And
I was like, I can respect that. They still have the 10 rings as they are a terrorist organization that are way bigger than what you can you can imagine. And bringing them back at part 3 was like a full circle moment.
Yeah, because it was in the first one. Not bring them back would be silly. Yeah,
exactly. And not even like, and that's another thing I could have said. I'm like, part 2 could have at least had a little hint of them getting put in there, right? Like a little something, then even more, but a little like whisper saying, "Hey, 10 rings are still around. Like, don't forget them," right? But part 3 was like, "Yo, all in. This Mandarin freaking scary as fuck. He's compelling. He's, oh my god." I'm like, wow. I'm like, if you didn't give me guy with like freaking power rings, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
This makes me feel good.
Honestly, the thing that saved that movie, I was not a fan of Killian, Oh no, what's his name? Not Killian.
Aldrich Killian. Yeah, you're right.
I wasn't a huge fan of him, but the one thing that kind of saved it was Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery was hilarious. Like I can't not enjoy that character. Like I literally just watched that a few hours ago, and just him being like, I'm an actor, and he's like, and just the way he just slayed that role of being this like innocent, drug addicted actor. I enjoyed that. It just tickled me.
I'm going to tell you like this. Look, like I said, this was like until like everything up till that scene, it was legitimately for me a 10 out of 10, right? Best way. This was like, I'm like, I am loving every moment. Everything's hitting exactly. I'm like, now we're seeing this, MacGyver of a Tony Stark,
which was great. It was
coming
nice
into this compound, and I'm like, but to find out that all of a sudden, he's already there at the bad guy. I'm like, how did he get to the Mandarin so fast? Like, okay, give me something else. What am I missing? I'm like, we still have a good chunk of movie left.
Yeah.
To then be thrown this freaking out from the left field. I'm an actor, and I'm just like, fuck.
It was that moment where you're like, the 10 rings are not the 10 rings at the moment.
It's not the 10 rings that I was actually really behind.
At that moment, you realize you're not getting the 10 rings.
Yeah, we're never gonna get them. We never were gonna get them, right? And it's like, but then we're already introducing very great storylines, subjects from the storylines like Extremis. Extremis was what really set who Tony Stark is now.
Yeah.
He you know what I mean? Because people forget that technically this Extremis was the thing that made Tony Stark capable of, speaking the language of, technology and computers. That this is the reason why he was able to excel in the comic books, because Extremis helped him do that. First, it almost killed him, which technically it did to Happy instead, right? Now it's literally, then in the comics, then it became, this is what gave him the power up he needed to really like stand among gods.
Yeah.
And I'll give a little background to it later, but since this is the chronologically, this is jumping right after he saved New York, PTSD. Solid. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
this
I think
is awesome.
they did a really good job of like the whole panic attack situation.
Yeah, I thought it was so dope because who wouldn't be fucking scared after that? You know what I mean? Like only safe in the armor.
He said, check the heart, check the head. Check. He's like, you had a panic attack.
Yeah, fuck. Like what? Like no, I'm Iron Man. I don't have a panic attack. But that was really cool, right? Little things with like which. Him putting in the new little parts to kind of upgrade the sensors to get the suit up a different way. Also pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little early for him getting like, the comedy stuff. You know what I mean? Like seeing him like mess up the first time. It's still funny. I still enjoyed it. But at the same time, like I could have seen like a little bit different, right? But that's also one of those things, right? Extremists in the comics gave him that ability to talk to his armor and shit like that. So I'm like, so they kind of just, instead of giving him Extremis, they made him do that because they also made Extremis into fire breathers, which
one fire breather, which was very confusing.
But
Only
everybody
one
else was
person
a
did
living
that.
bomb.
Everyone else,
they were just living bombs. I guess, like really hot
really hot living bombs burning up.
Which again, taking the word extremist and like building it into that. I'm like, again, the comic book person in me. I'm like, I feel like you could have done this better. Like you could have done a little something, right? But then I also think with the fire breathing thing, maybe they were trying to do a play on Fing Fang Foom or something like that. And
I do because he also had the dragon tattoos. So
that's what seeing that the second time. I'm like, maybe that's what it is, right? But ruined it for me when they gave it to Pepper, but thankfully he cured it.
I was glad they did
that. Like I was just like, okay. Loved all the suits.
Oh yeah,
that they showed.
I actually I have the Heartbreaker armor. One of the hot toys for that. That was one of my favorites.
I used to have a bunch of the versions. I know I had the I don't know, the one with the giant arms.
Oh
the sledgehammer one. I used to have one of those. I had the cloak, like the cloaking armor.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I had that one. But yeah, like it was so cool seeing that. That
So
was
many.
like,
Yeah, like seeing just his
straight out of the comics.
his repertoire. Yeah, that felt great. Also, two incredible scenes: the blowing up of the mansion, and him using his armor to like save Pepper and then come back to him.
Yeah,
incredible scene. And then also the flight scene, saving people. Like, I feel like that was fun. I feel like it does get credit, but I feel like it doesn't get credit enough for like one, really showing a hero again save people, and just in such a creative way. Like that was such a creative way to save people. Yeah, like a literally just falling from a plane and having to grab the bodies because you can only carry a couple people at a time.
Yes, and it's just like, using the wind power, and then thankfully he was over water and so on. Obviously, I think and then this is when I'm like, because this is right after the Mandarin disappointment for me, right? Yeah. To that give us a cool scene like that.
They were like, but
here's a car coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. But again, that showed how he's saving two people at once. You know what I mean?
Which is cool.
Yeah.
All good. I get it. But it's also like, just to make it inconvenient for him not to have that suit come in right away at the finale, right? It's like, I said, like, this makes me just irk more, because it's like, I'm like, oh my God, this movie, I'm like, they could have done so much, so many things. The, armor wars, made the extremists a little bit bigger. Mandarin could have not been beaten in this time, right? And then just kind of went into hiding, and maybe even then turned into the guy that went and looked for magic, or heard about the actual rings and had some type of power up. And not even if Tony Stark did anything about it, it could have been an Avengers fight, right? Or it could have been a show, or maybe one of the future characters.
I don't know. I feel like Iron Man 3 had to fail in that moment to give us, Shang-Chi.
Oh my God, literal 10 rings. Exactly. Yeah, and they became the real 10 rings. Exactly, they were the real 10 rings. So it was 10 rings, 10 rings, 10 rings. You're right. Oh my God.
He goes by many names, and the Mandarin is one of them.
Yes.
But I feel like...
I completely forgot about that shit.
I feel like Iron Man 3 had to like fall a little bit so that we can get the 10 rings. Yeah. Because I think that was...
Did we even know... Oh yeah, I love Shang-Chi.
I think
Shang-Chi was
the way
great.
they did the 10 rings also was much more fun than 10 magical element rings. For the big screen.
Yeah.
I think it was visually really cool in the way they used martial arts and everything like that.
Yes, I think also because, like we just talked about before, there wasn't enough setup to make it the literal 10 rings. There's not enough setup.
I feel like people have been very confused. They're like, wait, there's magic in this world?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it would have been, at least like would have done some justice to at least see that Killian actually spoke to Shang-Chi's father in a flashback or something like that.
But
and that's why he was like, I was able to use it.
Didn't we get the Mandarin visiting Slattery in prison? Yeah, there was like a little featurette. Yeah, there was a featurette that showed.
You're right. Yeah. Later on,
so
they had because they kidnap him too. They kidnapped him as well, or they were just like hey, we don't like that you're trying to say you're
and they grabbed him.
That's right.
Oh my God. Yeah,
something I forgot. Yeah,
it was a little thing. It was like a little quick thing. It wasn't in a movie. It was just like a separate feature.
Yeah, it was like the Thor things with his roommate when he was living on Earth. Similar situation. Yeah, I remember those. Those were dope. But then again, that was one of the ones that actually gave us something with some substance and everything. And again, fucking hell, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, again, because Mandarin is more of a Iron Man villain, not Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, has his own, right? But I think overall, Part 3 started off with such a big high. I loved so many moments, like you said, from the destruction of the mansion to him eventually, destroying all the suits.
Yeah.
But him coming back later on, that's besides the point.
Because those were just like, you get to, a lot of those had like single-use functions. A
Yes.
lot of them. The
This
one
was
with
him
the
literally
punching legs,
tinking around.
The
Yeah.
Igor for brute force stability.
Yes.
Like they were just he
Well,
was like
technically-
solving individual problems. And that was probably like a
Yeah.
Hulkbuster, but like it
Yes,
seems like he was
that's
just
what I
like
was saying.
solving individual problems. Like he had a stealth suit, he had a space suit.
Yes.
He was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this new thing, let me make a whole suit for it.
Yeah, he
'Cause-
just messed up. Remember when he was like the kid told him, "Oh yeah, this is the stealth. You should do stealth
And he's
farm."
like, "Ah, I
and he was
think
like,
I like
"Ooh." He was like, "That's a good idea." You know what I mean? Like little things like that.
But a couple like story points that I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed in this. When he was having that nightmare and the suit almost attacked Pepper.
That was a cool moment.
That was a
Yep.
really good moment. It was actually kind of
that
like a
was cool.
scary moment, and it's that because you're like, oh shit, and you almost thought it was like
Yeah.
a dream, but it was real, and the idea that his technology could just do that. And
Well,
as
because
smart
he
as he
fucking
is, he
shot
didn't-
himself
yeah.
up. He shot himself up with tech, and so of course it was going to still matter.
And again, I still am a huge fan of Trevor Slattery. And when he was like, he's like, "Am I going to jail? Because if not, I would like to really." He said, "Some people I'd like to roll on immediately." I was like, "Of course." And then one random comment that Happy said when he was like new bodyguard for Pepper, which felt a little too true to what's kind of happening these days. Was when he said the human element of human resources is our biggest point of vulnerability, and we should start phasing it out immediately. And I'm like, oh boy, let me tell you about AI. That felt a little too real.
Oh man!
And then Pepper was like, "Did you just say that?" And he's like, "Yeah,
he called it as he saw it.
They literally just
in
predicting the
fairness-
future."
Yeah, in fairness, yeah, like it was a great line, and who knew if that was going to become the norm right now? But
Yeah, let's just phase out the human part of
yeah,
human resources.
it's fucking wild. I think still a good movie. I'm giving it a 3.5 out of the 5 because, like I said, there was a lot of points that just dropped it for me.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm the diehard freaking nerd. I wanted to see these things.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit if, like, personally, I didn't give a shit if you had to like what's oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for?
Retcon.
Retcon, thank you. If you had a retcon part 2 and 1 just to kind of get these things to work, I didn't care. At that time, I didn't care. You know what I mean? Especially to know that I'm like, well, he's going to be in these future movies. There's still Ultron. There's still Civil War. There's still all these future movies that we didn't know about right away that I'm like, that we got, because I was like, Iron Man's not done. He's not done yet. You know what I mean? But
it was
I'm
a little
like,
scary because
how'd
I
you-
feel like everyone for a moment was
know?
like, wait, are we done seeing Iron Man?
Yeah. I think, and I want to say they had to actually reassure people too. They were like, no, he's not done. He's just his solo.
But also, I feel like
done.
at the time there was a lot of like not leaks, but like confirmation of like Robert Downey Jr. signed on for like 20 movies, so it was
it was totally.
we're gonna see him again.
Yep, exactly. So it is exactly that situation. We knew that we would see him again. We just didn't know what capacity. They were just like, his solo adventure is done. Like, that's what's concluded. Now we see the Iron Man moving forward as the person that, is leading the MCU. But yeah, I think 3.5 for me because, like I said, there's certain points that I wish they were different. I think they just kind of like stuck to the 10 Rings thing.
Yeah.
Even if they somehow killed, this dude instead of making him an actor, and then this dude just being like, well, I became his muscle, and now I'm spitting fire. You know what I mean? Like I would have been okay with that too. But yeah, I don't know. I in my head, I'm like, I don't know what I could have done. I would have done differently.
Yeah, no, it's a frustrating movie in the sense of like, I feel like if this movie was done today, they would have done a really good Mandarin, right?
Yes.
But again, my brain just thinks back, like if they had tried to do the comic book Mandarin back then, I feel like it would have been shit. I feel like it just would have been. I don't think they would have had the vision to do a good Mandarin.
Well, yeah,
with
you remember
with
too,
magic,
had,
with powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he also had pointy ears, if I recall. Like
think he
Mandarin
did.
original design, he had pointy ears. They didn't make him look like a human until the recent modern era. But his original style, he had pointy ears, green, and freaking 10 rings, and he wore this really outrageous suit. From my recollection, you know what? I'll pop it up on the screen with editing magic, but. besides that, yeah, like I said, so I had the 3.5 out of the 5.
I don't know if
just
it was
because I'm
original
angry.
design, but like I'm seeing some images with him with pointy ears, some without.
Okay, so then maybe
His
some
character
artists did
design
do the
was
pointy.
interesting to say the least in some
Yeah.
early versions.
put it to the screen. Let's just see it. I'll put a better picture later, but let me see it. Put it to the screen for me. Like just
Here's
point.
like
Can I see it with the
here's
phone?
like a couple.
Okay,
Like,
all right,
there's-
yeah.
there's
See,
an
those are the
animated
ones I
one
remember.
with pointy ears. The other ones I
Yes.
can't really see his ears.
That's the one.
But,
yeah. See, so I think they kind of like retconned the ears at one point or whatever. But yeah, I think I agree. I can see them doing a better job now, trying to introduce something like that. Totally would have been a difference. It's like, especially if we just knew if Iron Man wasn't the first one from everyone, you know what I mean? Like if it was Thor, maybe magic would have been accepted a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think as a whole, Iron Man being the start of the MCU couldn't have done anything better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I don't think anybody would have related to Thor or Captain America without
agree.
Iron Man being there. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot your rating. What's your rating, dude? Like, what do you give this one?
So I'm very lenient with things, especially if it gives me a lot of like good notes. And again, like for me, the movie's very frustrating because again, I think if they did the Mandarin the way we wanted it to, it wouldn't have been the way we would have liked.
Okay.
So I kind of am okay with the way that they did it, even though I really wasn't a big fan of the main villain of Killian. I really I didn't vibe with the way. And
Suspense
I didn't really
is
like
killing me, bro.
AIM. I gotta agree with you.
Oh my
give it a
god, yes.
3.5.
Oh my god, stop. Oh my god, AIM. I forgot about fucking AIM.
Yeah.
They had AIM. They had
did
AIM.
nothing with that. Nothing at all.
Not even now. Not even now.
Yeah.
They have so many opportunities, even now, to bring AIM in.
Yeah,
and
I really want
to
to see my flat, the
some
goofy
outrageous
outfits.
fucking costume.
Yeah, the
yes,
goofy
they're some of the best fucking. We could have had
What are
we
they,
would have
like,
had the
beekeepers,
better
pretty much.
MODOK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we would have had a better MODOK than. Well, don't get me wrong. I didn't
hate it. I didn't hate it.
I liked the design.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they needed to stretch this dude's face out. But at the same time, maybe he could have been AIM and Ant-Man and, part of AIM instead and shit. But I digress. That's a different, that's a different rewatch, a different episode.
Yeah. I'm with you on the 3.5 though. I'm with you on the 3.5.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, I still enjoyed the movie a decent amount. It had a lot of good, a lot of really good moments, seeing Tony Stark, MacGyver stuff and the plane scene and whatnot. But, it also didn't feel like it had as good pacing as the first two.
Okay, I can see that.
Once we got to like the Mandarin reveal, I was like, there was like a whole other half movie left, and I had already felt like it had gone through a bunch of different beats, and I'm like, oh, we got a couple more, because I remember like, oh, we haven't gotten the plane scene, we haven't gotten the MacGyver scene, we just got the MacGyver scene, we haven't gotten the plane scene yet, we haven't gotten the the crane scene yet at the end.
Oh yeah.
With the protocol.
We haven't got the escaping.
So like, I was like, we have a
so
lot
much
more movie left, and it's like I just feel like the pacing did not kind of hit for this one the same way.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, again, they were trying to close out a lot, and for this man's story, and it's, if they just ended it where they needed to, or maybe make it a couple of different choices, maybe it could have.
And I wonder if they were just like again worried that like they weren't going to get a lot more movies. I don't know if they were just like.
You think no at that time?
I don't know.
No, by that time we already had Thor.
Avengers.
We had Avengers. Yeah, Avengers was a huge
I just don't know. I mean, we technically did never get an Iron Man 4, so maybe they really were just like, this is the last. Like, we're not doing more than 3 movies per character. Although Thor is breaking that rule.
I would. Yeah. Well, let's not talk about Thor.
Well, no, he's not even breaking that rule because he got he has Thor. No, he got Thor 2, Ragnarok, and he got 4 movies.
No, wait.
You got Thor, Dark World, Ragnarok, and Love and Thunder. So he got 4 movies.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Which is interesting. You would think Iron Man, although Civil War kind of felt like a Iron Man movie.
That's what I was saying. Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War felt like a whole.
Thor got a full 4 movies.
Yeah. But then those were the only ones that he was. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth's got a lot. Well, again, remember there were a lot of the connective tissues as well because he was the main point of magic.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, he knew about Infinity Stones and so on.
Very
until
true.
until eventually Doctor Strange comes in and everything with his one movie to set up all of Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know, so like I guess that's the reason why eventually he gets number 4, because he had to, you know, they had to try to introduce Jane Foster's Thor and him retiring from, you know, being a hero and such. But yeah, besides that, I don't know. Yeah, Iron Man stuff. I think this is, you know, it was a great start.
Yeah.
To the whole MCU again, and with, you know, Robert Downey Jr. coming back now as, you know, Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom.
We shall see.
Yeah, we should. So, you know, there's so many ways we could look at it, right? Yeah. We have to speculate, because here's the whole thing, guys. When it comes to Avengers Doomsday, this is supposed to wipe the slate clean of all the original Phase 1 to 4, and now we get a brand new MCU.
Yeah.
This is going to have X-Men. It'll have all the different type of Avengers, maybe a lot of recasts, a whole new, you know, like a main cast, right?
I really hope they at least, like, even if the character feels different, I do hope they keep some people that, like, want to stay. Like, I'm sure, like, I know Tom Hiddleston wants to do Loki forever. Like, I would love to see Loki stick around.
Yeah, I think he could do that. Like, why not?
And then, you know, he's a god, you know, so why not? But, like, there's a couple characters I feel like just didn't get enough love that, like, man.
You know, again, I would assume it's probably from some back in the back office deals or, like, issues and everything. I thought Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson should have got a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, especially after her solo movie, I was like, "Fuck!"
My man Moon Knight
really
just not getting so much potential.
Well, who knows
him.
Who knows if Oscar Isaac is going to even come back now? Yeah. Like, apparently there's rumors.
And then they like teased Black Knight, and Eternals was actually a good movie, which I don't know why that got no love. But like that teased Black Knight, which I really like the idea of seeing Black Knight on the big screen.
Yes,
and that,
same. Remember the ebony sword could have played a part in so many situations.
And then the idea that we still haven't gotten Blade.
And
we have the perfect casting. Like,
yeah. Well, apparently just not the perfect script, and that's the which
so
I
hard.
agree with.
It's so hard.
Yeah. You know, you would think, right? Like, oh, this is a vampire hunter. You know, but
honestly, people will be happy with him literally just
you know?
hunting vampires. You don't need to overthink it.
Exactly. It's like, and then just give us a little tie-in to whatever's the next movie or someone to meet.
Well, so
because apparently
I heard rumors
he's going to talk to
they
the
might
Black
combine.
Knight.
They might do a Midnight Suns.
Which is fine, but then we don't have half of the other Midnight Suns. Yeah, so it's it's literally just supposed to be Moon Knight could do it, Blade,
Black Knight.
Then if they do Black Knight, and technically they were supposed to have a Ghost Rider, we could have a Doctor Strange.
Which the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Highly recommend. If you haven't even looked up some clips, just look up some clips of Robbie Reyes.
Oh, I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen the clips.
He also was a really good actor for that role. Like, he just played the part really well.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe with Doomsday and everything, we might get to see some of these characters from the TV shows actually show up, because a few of them I heard were very good. Even them trying to introduce the Inhumans, you know what I mean, with this girl and all that kind of stuff. But
the Inhumans is one of those shows that I did finish. I
didn't even start.
I struggled. Yeah. That's one of those things where, like, I'm very lenient. Like, right? I'm very lenient because, like, you know, not everything can be perfect, and I'm honestly just happy to see my nerdy stuff get on the big screen. And I really don't got nothing nice to say about Inhumans. Like, and that's bad.
I think when I saw the stills of how they messed up Lockjaw, right? Lockjaw, yeah, Lockheed, right? The dog. Lockjaw, I was right. Yeah, why do I question myself? Oh, God. When I saw Lockjaw, I was just like,
Yeah,
I was like, maybe it's because of a still, like maybe it's because it was a still, but yeah, the whole premise of everything and just how it like kind of like they forced it in, I was like, yeah, they kind of dropped the ball here. So I still haven't to this day saw the full episode.
I'm telling you, it's like it's one of the few shows I will tell people you don't need to watch. I would tell you rather go back and watch the old ABC, I think it was ABC, Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, I love that.
Before ever jumping into
wait. The ABC one, or you mean the one?
There's only the only live action one.
Oh, the one with the younger kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
I would
love that
like
one.
that
was
show,
dope.
which wasn't amazing, but it was pretty decent.
Oh, it was great.
Which I shouldn't be saying. Like Cloak and Dagger shouldn't be outruling Inhumans. Like they shouldn't be.
Fair. Well, even the Runaways did a great. job.
Runaways even did a better job.
It's so good. But remember, and they were supposed to have. They had their crossover, and they were supposed to get another season.
And then there was Legion, which was really good actually.
Yeah. Loved Legion was great, and that one, but again, that was never going to cross over anywhere because that was a Fox program. But Legion was solid. It's like literally the
honestly,
second
I would probably
X-Men
tell you to
show that they
rewatch X-Men Dark Phoenix before sitting through the entire season of Inhumans. Yep.
Sorry.
At least you're only sitting through 2 hours compared to an entire season of Inhumans.
Yeah. Remember, the only saving grace to Dark Phoenix was them putting them in the costumes at the very end. That I think that was the only saving
I'll
grace.
never forget Fox for making us wait over a decade to finally see these cats in some like good costumes.
They're assholes.
I don't know why they were so averse, especially when like so many Marvel movies have done really well with their costumes, and even like other DC stuff has shown like really comic booky costumes had rave reviews, and Fox over there was like, nah.
Yeah, it's a shame. As simple as that. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and it's also like they didn't trust the material. They didn't trust that we were going to show up, and that's the problem, right? So now they're, literally they're kicking themselves in the ass that knew that they couldn't get as much money as they could now, but they're going to try to make up for that with Doomsday. All these characters are coming back. Yeah. With the X-Men coming in, Fantastic Four, so on and so forth. Everybody's getting something, right?
Yeah.
Now, with Robert Downey Jr. coming in, do we assume there's going to be parallels to Iron Man and Tony Stark? Are we going to see it as like they're supposed to be as a variant?
Yeah, I have no idea what route they're going. Like, I don't even want to like.
I don't want to even think of it. I personally don't want him to be a variant.
Yeah, I don't either. I really don't either.
Yeah, because it's fair to say yes, I can agree. Robert Downey Jr. should be is the only one that can bring this role to life, right? And make it well done, which not to say the past Victor Von Dooms weren't good. They kind of fucked up with the more recent Fantastic Four with like Michael B. Yeah,
that's also one of those where I can't recommend watching even for free, even for like no. If you were bored and you watched every movie on Netflix, I couldn't recommend.
And
it.
I wasn't completely mad with Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch.
He was pretty decent.
He was pretty decent.
That script was horrible.
That's what they did them dirty with.
I don't really blame the actors. That script was just hot garbage. At all.
Yeah, I think the choice to
the character designs.
The choose to create Victor Von Doom that route. Make him go into that place, and then now he's just
exploding people and stuff.
Because I love the actor. The actor's amazing. He is so good at almost everything he does. Like I remember I've been a fan for his since the movie Rock and Roller. Yeah. I don't know if you know that that movie that takes it back. And he also did the Apple TV movie show The Servant. He was one of the main characters there too. So we get all these things right with this Doc Doom. I think they should not even play into he looks like Tony Stark. They probably will. I personally, maybe
because who's gonna not recognize that face?
But that's the thing. Remember, his face should be fucked up until he gets that cosmic power, and then he fixes his face. But
we'll see.
I think it's just as simple as as long as they make it into he just has his face, like how they did.
Yeah, like it just happened. It just happens to be like, this isn't like. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that my face offends you. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that my face, looks like your beloved.
Or why
Tony
do you
Stark.
Why would you trust me so much right now? I'm Doom. Who the fuck are you?
I would like it to just be. It happens to be his face.
Yeah. But it's just like with Human Torch in Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like simple as that. Yeah. Chris Evans played these guys, and he says "flame on." I think if they keep it as simple as that, I think it'll be good.
Just on a quick side note, because we were talking about the way that they did Doom in that horrible version, and how he's just like exploding people. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to see the Iron Man movies again, and it's just like, Iron Man kills people.
Oh,
he's one of the few characters that's like, Marvel's actually
the whole MCU kills people.
Yeah, valid point. There's not too many characters that are like, I'm not going to kill someone.
Yeah, it's the what is it? It's the
but like seeing one of the
Star
OGs,
Wars effect, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the Star Wars effect, right? Nobody ever talks about how many stormtroopers are killed throughout the series, right?
Yeah.
But because there's no blood, and also because they're in a suit and a mask, and you just see them fall down.
Yep. And you never know, like, was it a fatal wound? You know, like
Yeah.
sometimes. I mean, obviously some is obvious, but like, you know, it's like, oh, maybe they were just grazed.
Right.
But you know,
Like,
this one,
because-
especially 3, he was taking people down.
Oh yeah,
Especially
was
the
straight
extremists,
left
because
and
they were
right.
super soldiers essentially. So he had to take them out.
Had to, and then like you know, you saw it even in the his MacGyver scene. He shot people.
Yeah,
he straight up had to shoot people.
Gun, yeah.
You know, it's like he had no qualms whatsoever.
And to be fair, like
that's the MCU.
To be fair, like I feel like in the comics, it's so much easier to have everyone just magically dodge bullets. You know what I mean, without having to shoot back. But I feel like when you were seeing people in real life, like especially like he had no suit on. If people are gonna shoot at him and he's not going for kill shots, like I don't know how you're surviving. So
hey, well,
and if it's not
Widow
a character
did
that doesn't have a strict no kill rule, then I don't care.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think MCU is very good with like, don't kill anybody on purpose. If it happens, it
don't kill that you don't have to. You know, someone surrenders.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that one guy was like. Actually, from the last one from 3, when he was like,
exactly.
when he's like, dude, I didn't want to be here. These guys are really weird. And he's like,
yeah, he was like,
bye. You know, he's not gonna just kill him to kill him. He's like, okay, you're surrendering. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But that was a great line. He's like, dude, these guys are really weird. I didn't want to be here. That was a great line. That gave me a big chuckle.
They had very good moments. Funny enough, one of the first cameos of, well, not even cameos, one of the first acting roles for Jenna Ortega.
Really?
She was the daughter of the vice president.
Oh my God. I didn't even notice that.
Look back at it. That's Jenna Ortega.
Crazy.
And I think, funny enough, she actually brought it up in a couple interviews in the past. She was like, "Yeah, I was in an MCU movie." Yeah, she's technically in the MCU. Yeah, she won that route. You know, and then like I think some of the, like I said, some of the best moments, him going to Happy's, Happy's like bedside in the hospital, showing how much he was hurt that this happened,
and then like putting on his favorite show and whatnot. Like, come on, like it was a really good character moment for him, especially when he's like a narcissist, he's selfish, but like when time comes to crunch, he has the capacity to show he cares.
Also, that big ass teddy bear or dog looked really weird, and the bunny, but it was hilarious. Fun little running joke there. I know. Yeah, again, there was a lot of good notes in part 3.
A lot of good moments save that movie from the disappointment of the man.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what it if you could, I bet you, if we could cut out actor. The actor moment and just skip right to, I have my extremist people fighting you now, so you have to deal with them, but I'm in the wind again. I'll be back. Kept it like that. I think I would have been okay with it. I'd be like, well, you know what? His big plan was extremist.
Yeah.
This is how he was doing everything. Once I shut this down, because now he doesn't have his scientists. All the girl got killed.
And it could have even been revealed later that he was an actor. You know what I mean? Like it could have even been revealed later, like he was caught and like the real Mandarin shows up. You know what I mean? Who knows? But
I don't know. It didn't happen. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Remember, this guy is back in Wonder Man now at the Disney Plus show. For which
Wonder Man. I am excited for.
I've been hearing bad reviews about it, but. We'll do our review eventually. Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sure I'm gonna do a rewatch of it.
Also, we should have a Shang-Chi too by now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we should have. We really should have. But I guess when it comes down to it, overall, we have Doomsday coming up. We have a long time to wait. Yeah, and this is only the part 1 of our rewatch of the MCU. Any final thoughts, Boozer?
Iron Man still slaps.
Fair. I think Iron Man still was awesome. Part 3 could have done without some stuff, but I digress. He was a great, great beginning to the MCU.
Absolute goat of a character.
Still today. So let's hope that they don't ruin him with this Victor Von Doom of Doomsday, and we'll be back with the next one. Everybody, thank you for coming back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and, take care, and see you on the next one.
See ya.
Peace.